Hello and welcome to another episode of Fully Charged. This is a bit special. It's an introduction to one of our new presenters, Andy Torbet. He's an extraordinary man. He and I have only actually met once in the flesh. We've talked a great deal over Zooms and phones and things. But I just thought it was worth introducing what Andy's done up to now, what he's busy doing, what he's going to be doing. It's pretty extraordinary. He's had a pretty extraordinary life for a young man. But anyway, it's going to be brilliant. Have a look at this, and then his first episode is coming. Is the next episode that comes out on Fully Charged. Please welcome Andy Torbet. Well, Andy, I mean, I want to say, Andy, that I am so thrilled to bits that you're going to be working with us, because it's. I think it is that thing where this show started off as being sort of about electric cars, and it was really quick that I realised, oh, hang on, it's not just about cars; it's about all this other stuff that's happening. You know, I mean, I think initially renewables, but then it was all the other things that I suddenly saw. That solar panels and electric motors were going on all sorts of things. You know, in fact, a solar-powered yacht went around the world in 2010. I didn't even know about it. I've just found out about it the last couple of days. You know, so that stuff's been going on a long time, and that is kind of such an exciting area. And the terror I have, the one time I sat on an electric motorbike, for instance. And I went, I just don't want to do this. I wasn't built for motorbikes. I like four wheels. I don't mind bicycles. Bicycles I'm good at, but motorbikes that go really fast. So the fact that you're prepared to do those things, or you know, with enthusiasm, is just brilliant for us. It really is.
Well, you know, I kind of see my role. My primary role is kind of, you know, I'm the fully charged crash test dummy. The proper scientist firing into space. You know, I'm the space monkey that you to bring back the data. But I'll be doing those sort of things, like you say, motorbikes. But I'm hoping to do the slightly more left field stuff as well, like the underwater diver propulsion vehicles, submarines, yachts, boats, whatever. But it's a kind of secondary thing is that because I've got a background in zoology and ecology and wildlife and conservation, I think that's an important part of this, that where it's not just electric vehicles and sustainable energy for its own sake and because it's cool. It's because of the impact or lack of impact that it will have going forward on the world.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're absolutely right, because it is the constantly expanding field, and that's one of the things we're always discussing on Fully Charged, and I'm sure we'll discuss it with you a lot, is how far we go. Because, you know, I've mentioned stuff like vegetarianism, and you know, we've eaten a couple of plant-based burgers on the show, and a lot of people love it, and then some people go, why, it's not about food, it's about electric cars. And they're going, well, you know, it's a big, because it's such a big topic. Yeah, you know, how we survive, and we're really going through that at the moment. There are more and more correlations now between, for instance, particulate emissions in cities and people's ability to deal with COVID-19. I mean, there is a connection, which I would dread to bring up, because I know that'll get a lot of comments. But there is a connection between the way we live and the way we interact with animals, exactly that stuff, and the effect it has on us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, there's no doubt that pollution and the way that we live at the moment hurts ourselves as well as the wildlife and the ecology around us. But yeah, it's it's an interesting field. But that's the great thing about something like a channel like this, is that if we do an episode on, say we use an EV boat to go and look at marine conservation.
Yeah.
If you're not interested, don't watch it. It's fine.
Yes.
No one's forced you to watch the episode. If you just want to watch the episodes on Teslas, just go and watch them. That's fine. No one minds.
Yes. No. Absolutely right. But I think our audience would be interested to find out a bit about your background, because I know you were in the military. Yeah. I don't know, a while ago. And what was your role in that? Because you have told me. I just want you to tell the audience, because it is. Yeah.
So I did 10 years in the forces. I was a paratrooper and an army diver and a bomb disposal officer, and was involved in high risk search. So in part of the maritime terrorist unit, and I deployed to the Middle East, obviously, and the Balkans a few times, and places like that. So all good fun.
But bomb is because I love the way that you just throw the bomb disposal bit casually in. Bomb disposal strikes me as being a fairly high risk occupation.
Well, it's like anything. It's like the stuff I do now. It is high risk, but it's not necessarily dangerous. It depends how you do it. So you take something that's high risk, like skydiving or cave diving or bomb disposal, and as long as you do it right, right kit, right training, right attitude, then you can make it acceptably safe. There's always a risk involved, and we lost some operators, especially in Afghanistan, who were absolute top of their game, and you can't always, sometimes things just go wrong, and unfortunately the consequences are pretty severe. But the other thing is that obviously we experience the world through kind of relativity. So I've got loads of mates who are serving or ex-bomb disposal officers. So being a bomb disposal officer isn't that special to me, because loads of my mates do it.
It's what you do. Yes. Yes. No. Absolutely. But then since then, so I know that you've done sort of stunt work, stunt driving, stunt motorbiking stuff in movies. We're not going to discuss, unless you want to, specific movies you've been involved in, but there's some that are fairly, I think people have guessed when we mentioned that you were on the show. It didn't take them long. How do you even get into that? I can't even imagine how that starts.
Most of it came from the fact that I was doing stuff on TV for documentaries. So I was sort of presenting and doing sort of stunts in inverted commas on TV documentary, mostly science and wildlife series. A lot for the BBC. So it was rock climbing, diving, free diving, skydiving, all that sort of stuff, and a few sort of weird stunts like bungee jumping or being set on fire and that sort of thing. So I did that for about 10 years. I still do that now, But then last year, 2019, at the beginning, a few TV projects had fallen by the wayside, as they do, and had the opportunity to go and do some work on a film out in Norway. One thing led to the other, and I basically ended up as a sort of full-time stuntman on that film the whole year, doing underwater stuff and sort of climbing rope stuff and a bit of ex-military stuff, which was brilliant. It really was. So that was, and I got into the TV stuff simply because I was doing my own expeditions and exploration projects, mostly again underwater stuff and a bit of climbing. And then I started doing safety work for the BBC, diving safety, climbing, skydiving safety, and a bit of filming. And then on my own trips, I was making my own little short films, and the sort of two came together, and I started presenting for the BBC about 10 years ago.
Okay, right, a long time. Because I would also imagine if you're a BBC, natural history producer, and you want footage of some weird fish, I don't even know what, and I would imagine your range of camera operators and support crew is fairly limited. In fact, there's not going to be 10, not like if you're filming in a TV studio, there's thousands of cameramen can do that.
That's it. I'm only I do a bit of presenting and that's it. I'm not like Bear Grylls or Ben Fogle, like somebody that's a full-time professional presenter. Yeah. They tend to wheel me in when they can't find anyone else to do the job. So it's like, we need somebody to dive to 120 metres or cave diving or whatever else. Jump out of a plane at 28,000 feet. They're like, all right, better wheel in Torbet. They could think I was the worst presenter in the world. It wouldn't matter. That's like, well, I've got no choice. We've got to use them again. And because of that, I get a little bit more power, I think, than you normally would, certainly somebody of my sort of status, to choose my team. So for underwater stuff, one of the cameramen I use, he's my main diving partner. We do a lot of cave diving and deep diving together, and he's also a top level cameraman. Same with the skydiving stuff. The skydiving guy I use as my main skydiving friend, but we work well together. And you need to have somebody you trust to be able to look after themselves, to look after you if necessary in those sort of places, but also get the footage, because you might only get one chance in it. You don't want to go through all that and then not get the footage.
Yes. Yeah. I can't somehow lock onto the name of the thing that pulls you along underwater.
It's a DPV, a diver propulsion vehicle. We just call them scooters. So.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. So the scooters. But those, I never even thought about it before we discussed it. Of course, they have always been electric from the very first one. You would never have a 2-stroke engine running in one of those things or something.
No, and for those who aren't familiar, they're basically a big tube about that long, but that sort of wide, with a handle on top and a throttle, and you just throttle up and it pulls you, little propeller at the back, it pulls you along. And they've been around for decades. Yeah. I mean, years. And I was chatting to a friend yesterday on the phone, he's a diver as well, and he made a very good point, because he's got a Tesla, so he's into EVs, and he's thrilled that I'm involved with Fully Charged. Right. But he said, most potential EV drivers, their big thing is reliability and range. So DPVs are mostly used cave diving, okay? So we've been using these electric vehicles for like decades to take us into places where if they weren't reliable and the range wasn't good enough, we're going to die.
Yeah.
And yet that's the faith we've got in them. So, in that sort of context, EVs that you get nowadays on the road are you're fine. You can rely on them.
Yes.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
They're fine.
But then the other one is. But that was the other thing you took, because I think we're hearing more and more about electric aircraft. I think we're going to see something that resembles a big drone first, that will be flying first, before we see sort of winged electric aircraft.
I've been in a one-man drone. So this guy in the US, he built his own giant drone that he could sit in. It was like in his backyard. The chair was a chair he basically just gaffer taped to this frame. It was, eight props, and with a remote control he had in his lap. So he got out, took the remote control with him, and I sat in the chair, and he basically flew me around this car park in the States on this giant drone, only about 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah. But
yeah, they're definitely coming. I mean, but there's no passenger planes operating in Canada. I think it's a seaplane.
It's either Seattle or Vancouver. I think it's Seattle, actually. I think it's in the US.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of islands, and there's a lot of island hopping seaplanes there. Yeah. No, there is electric ones of those. Yeah.
Short distance. I think it's about a dozen people. It's not big planes, but
no.
You can now fly in a passenger plane that is run electrically.
Yeah. No, I mean, that stuff is fascinating, isn't it? The first episode you've done, which I kind of wanted to introduce that, because that will be the next episode on, is ironically, it's all the things that we weren't going to do with you. So you're driving an electric car, but in fairly unusual circumstances. It's not just a simple road test, is it?
No, that was the year. My first fully challenged trip was to northern Sweden in the middle of winter in the Arctic Circle to drive some cars on a frozen lake just to see how they perform in winter, which was brilliant fun, absolutely brilliant fun.
No, it does look. It looks fantastic. It's a fantastic episode. You're going to love it. I can't say welcome on board enough, because I'm so excited about the stuff we can do. I mean, I'm really, it's going to be really good fun, and it's so brilliant that you're doing it. And the very first episode you've done is fabulous, and it's so good that we've got an episode that we can release now that isn't me sitting here or you just sitting there. It's a little bit more.
A lot of chat, promising how good we're going to be.
Yeah, we're going to be fantastic. I know, it's very frustrating, but thanks so much, Andy, and I'm really, really looking forward to doing more stuff with you. It's brilliant.
Not at all. Take care, I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Well, that's all we've got time for. I think I'm really excited about working with Andy. I think it's going to be brilliant. Do have a look at the next episode that's coming in the next couple of days. I'll be talking to Rory Reid soon about his, what he's going to be doing on the show. Lots and lots of exciting stuff is coming. But as Andy said, it's all well and good, just two talking heads talking about it. Let's actually do it. Yes, please. We would love to get on and do some proper shows. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. All the usual caveats apply, and as always, if you have been, thank you for watching.